Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short. It's a hard knock life, Hayden. And it's going to be that way this offseason for the Dallas Cowboys as HBO's Hard Knocks attends their training camp. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, are you ready for characters? I'm, I'm excited about. There's some guys I'm specifically excited about. The first guy that comes to mind, in my head at least, is Ezekiel Elliott. Obviously, those first few years in the league, Ezekiel Elliott was really fun to watch. And in the past few years, I've kind of just been killing him for feeling like he's kind of dropped off in his production, like gaining yardage, scoring, whatever. Still does it sometimes, but not seemingly as much nearly as often. And then also having like a fumble issue start. I slightly want to blame that on the beard. I don't love the beard look and how big his hair is now. But, that can't actually be the reason for the play dropping off. So I want to see how he's doing, see what's up with him. That'll be interesting for me to see. Then another guy that I don't have many college players that I always love following, but you remember back when Baker was at Oklahoma. I was having so much fun watching Oklahoma games just because I loved watching Baker, and one of the other guys I really got into was CD Lamb. I loved the name, I love how he played, and he was a lot of fun there. So interesting to see CD Lamb too. Are there any other guys? Obviously want to see how Dak is recovering from his injury, and then just like every year, see how like a training camp goes for a team, kind of get a behind the scenes look, be kind of interesting, see who jumps off the screen as like a guy we weren't expecting. And then really the one other thing for the Cowboys specifically that excites me is kind of to just maybe get a glimpse of like how they're figuring out how they're gonna move all those linebackers around that we talk about them having now, like even the safeties that are playing linebacker, just like so much there. How is it all gonna fit together? I'm excited to see how that all goes.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm really interested in the most is their linebacker situation. Just all the guys that they drafted. I mean, especially with that news coming out of them possibly having Micah Parsons be like designated pass rusher, whatever that position is. I want to see how that works out, how they go over that, if it's talked about at all. I really hope they get some one-on-one time with Keanu Neal and ask him like, so what's this like, man? You were like considered one of the better safeties in the NFL a couple years ago, and now you're coming to Dallas to be with Dan Quinn to play linebacker. Like I really want to hear what he has to say about that. Uh just some of the rookies that they have too. I mean, like I touched on Micah Parsons and then all these other linebackers, Jabril Cox too. But the one personality that I'm putting money on pops out is uh Davis Mills guy. Was that his name?
Oh,
The
the
QB
long
from
hair. Oh my
yes,
gosh.
Simi Fehoko, the wide
Oh, that
receiver.
kid.
I all that I remember on draft day of scrolling through TikTok and I see one of his pop up. It's like when you make it all the way to the sixth round and no teams drafted you or something like that. And all the comments were like, "Bro, you ain't getting drafted now." I love that. It seems like he's got a good personality. Seems like he'll jump out. Uh, and it's weird for a wide receiver like that to, well, not a wide receiver like that, but to have a wide receiver with personality because for the large part, a lot of the wide receivers there on the Cowboys are soft spoken. I mean, Amari Cooper doesn't really, he's not a big talker. He doesn't say a lot. He
Yeah.
does what he does.
I can't say that I remember any time I remember Michael Gallup. Like, I don't even remember ever
Oh,
seeing an interview with Michael Gallup. Like, I really have
yeah.
I don't even know what he looks like, to be honest.
Yeah, and then CeeDee Lamb, he's kind of a soft-spoken guy too. I mean, he didn't even tell his girlfriend to give him his phone back. He just took it right from her, no words. So,
Yes, very true. This was interesting. I don't know if this has happened before. Now, I'm not a Hard Knocks expert, but they have the Hall of Fame game this year too, don't they? Against Pittsburgh,
yeah,
another team that we talked about today. If you didn't see that, that should have came out 2 days ago for us. That's really interesting. I wonder how, because then they'll have 4 preseason games, right? And they'll have
yeah.
to start filming a bit earlier because they'll get to like practice maybe a week earlier. So that'll be
The
interesting to see how all that plays out.
I saw that the first episode comes out on the 10th, which that's way earlier than it's been before of August.
August. Yeah, that is interesting. That's very early. Um, but as for what you said about Sime Fehoko. I actually really like that call out. I mean, that guy will be really fun to see. I hope he makes the roster, and that'll be a fun stuff. One of the fun reasons to watch like preseason games. Hopefully he can like make a big play or something, or anything else like that. I don't know why. Just chances are there's so many guys on the roster. Chances are he won't be the one who pops out, but maybe he will. I would like it if he is, because it's funny, just looking at the team already. Obviously, they have three solid receivers that would be in front of him, even if he plays amazing. Like if he played out of his mind, he wouldn't really be stepping on the field much during the regular season for them. So that would be interesting to see how all that would maybe play out. Is there anyone else though that you can think of that would really pop out? Jabril Cox?
There's Jabril Cox too. He could be fun, but something that I'm going through my old Cowboys notes that I have here. They replaced their long snapper too, so I don't know if there might be a snapper battle going on that'll be covered. That really hasn't been something that they've touched on in Hard Knocks. Big snapper battle now that the vet LP LaDouche's out of town.
Yeah. How long was he there? He was there forever, wasn't he?
Geez, like at least 12 years, I'd have to say.
Bare minimum, yeah. No, it's crazy. And of course they've appeared on Hard Knocks before, right? They've been on what, 2 of them already?
Oh, they're the Cowboys. That's one thing too. Where when I first saw it, the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, I want to see some of the stuff for training. Like I always like Hard Knocks because the inside look and everything, but more Cowboys stuff. The Cowboys get 8 primetime games a season, and now they're going to like just take over the off season because everyone's going to talk about these Hard Knocks episodes, and it's just more Cowboy stuff. But I do want to see how Dak is recovering, and long snapper battles are always awesome.
Yeah. Interested. I hope we hear from Tony Pollard a little, just because of like Zeke, getting so much money and him kind of being lower on the depth chart, but playing better than him.
Yeah.
It's like ooh, that could be a sore spot. I wonder how that looks at see a little bit inside the running back room, how that's going. As for the defense, I don't know. Maybe just how some of the stars on the defense are stars, because Cowboys. Yeah, that was great. The Cowboys, like Leighton Vander-Esch, Jalen Smith, what's his name, DeMarcus Lawrence. How those type of guys are kind of like thinking about the season from a perspective of like, geez, the defense didn't play really well last year, and we're kind of like these big names that are out here that should be doing a lot of stuff, and yet the team defense as a whole was kind of awful. Just see how they're looking back on the season and what their outlook is for the upcoming season.
Yeah, and the secondary guys too, because we touched on it in the Cowboys episode. Their secondary was really, really weak. So I want to see how what those guys have to say about their performance and everything. And big secondary guy for the Vikings, Trevon Diggs. I want to see what he has to say. See if there's any footage that they can pull up of him working one-on-one with his brother.
Okay, that's exactly who I was gonna say too. But stop confusing. You just mixed something up so badly. Trevon Diggs for the Vikings.
Jeez, wow. I am all over the place, man.
It's okay. No, I'm excited to see Trevon Diggs, too. I mean, I really like him as a player. Anybody who's willing to chase down DK Metcalf and punch the ball out from behind, not give up on a play, that's great. So many other guys would have. And just in general, he played really well last season. So I think he's the bright spot in the secondary. And I would say Keanu Neal should be, too. But no, he's playing linebacker. That's why this thing is even weirder. And just even more so, what is going on?
That's going to be the most entertaining part of it all. I think just having 9 guys competing for 3 linebacker spots.
Yeah, having a ton of interesting guys on the offensive side of the ball, and them just being like, oh shoot, we have all this talent at the linebacker position and one guy on the D line and one guy in the secondary. How the heck do we fix this? That'll just be great.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we get some Jerry too. I always like when Jerry talks, because he just talks. He says a lot.
Unfiltered. And Mike McCarthy though, that one's not quite as interesting, and he's gonna be there. Oh geez, we may get some really cringy stuff out of him. That may be bad.
Yeah.
I could see that just being there's gonna be some clips of him saying stuff that's trying to get the team motivated that may just be get a sour reaction.
Hmm.
Do you disagree with me on that?
Oh no, I don't disagree with that.
I don't I really still can't believe he got that job, but I mean, hey, that's where they're at.
Yep.
It doesn't even feel like it doesn't feel like we've seen much of him. Like he's the head coach, but it
No,
doesn't feel like he's nearly.
because the Cowboys just always feel like they're led by Jerry. That's why it does it they just have like some pawn that's head coach like that Jerry's calling down the plays to.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, I think that's all I got to say on the topic. Do you have anything else?
Nope. I think we could cut this here.